I tried teaching in a Pamantasan, and it's very different from like the private university I teach. And they have a lot to tell me. They have a lot, and it's just very different from like the ideals of like the Greeks, which again, I think it's important that they learn from the Greeks. But I think that their experience of politics is quite different, especially with, on the one hand, voting for a certain candidate means life or death for a lot of them. So they're heavily invested in politics, but their choice is not based on, like, for example, there's this discourse yung mga bobotante, yung parang basta hindi nakapag-graduate ng aral bobo, or like binoto nila dahil bobo or something. I'm like, no, it's just that you have to ask ano bang kwento nila, bakit, you have to be willing to listen to them. But it's weird because honestly, I don't know how well podcasting has limits, and I don't know how many of these people actually listen to like podcasts. I mean, YouTube, Spotify are like largely middle class, although more and more people are listening to the podcasts. Like, it's still very much it doesn't penetrate to like mass audiences. So I think that's I do like what the Xiao Chua was saying, like ilapit natin kasi the opposite of an ivory tower is, well, some people say brown tower, but it's a marketplace. They call it the Agora, wherein the Greeks or like would discuss things, so it's people on equal playing field, flat. So mula torre to palengke, that's the title of a book, so yeah, in the Filipinos they try to say about education. So it's not about having an ivory tower where you learn about these high things, but you discuss like politics is discussing everyday things, like how will we eat, how do we use these things, how do we defend against invaders, how do we what rules do we have, how do you settle disputes, kung may mag-aaway, sino magbibigay ng hustisya, di ba? So apparently that's Tulfo, but I don't know. At least I mean, that's why in a way he provides an avenue for justice that is not accessible because I think the courts are overcrowded.
Can you elaborate on the differences dun sa Pamantasan and dun sa isang institution na pinagtuturuan mo?
I mean, without naming names. No. On the one hand, at the very least, in sa Pamantasan, they're willing to listen. In fact, they're excited to know that when someone from a private university has come to teach, like, and they're also willing to share. But
share what?
To share, like, for example, their own experiences, anecdotes on for voting, like how brazen, like they talk about envelopes being distributed openly during elections. They talk about how, flying voters. They talk about some of them have cousins. Yung pinsan nila, yung tatapo bilang konsehal. So very close to local politics, So it's, you immediately see the effects of local policies there. Private universities, like in a way, they're quite sheltered, So in a way, iba yung trabaho ko eh. For private universities, you have to show them the real world. For the Pamantasan, you help them process their own experience na alam na nila, pero parang paano natin gagamitin for political science. How can they use the tools of political science to understand what they're saying?
Kasi parang you're just helping them articulate.
Yes.
Diba? And this is actually it. Parang alam nyo na actually ito. Yeah. Actually, yung experience ko na parang itong mga sinasabi ng mga philosophers and yung ideas ng ibang mga self-help gurus.
Yeah.
Parang na-realize ko na to, pero yun pala yun. 'Di ba? Parang nga no, kasi medyo matanda na ako noon eh.
Yeah.
Naranasan ko na yung ibang mga bagay doon eh.
Yeah.
So please continue sa sorry.
Although the weird thing is that at least in the private universities, medyo nebulous yung nila. Pero you'd see that, of course, American wokeism a little bit in some college students there. Kasi they're babad din sila sa sa TikTok, sa YouTube, etc. Pero sa Pamantasan, yung mga away ng, halimbawa, kakamping at unit team, you really see na parang medyo sumisigaw na sila. Na parang, ganito. So, I also have to act as referee na parang, sige, na you have to make sure that, like, there is some truth in this side and that side. Pero, I mean, as a teacher, you have to be sure that you're still neutral and say like, na parang may punto sila, may punto ito, pero ganito. So it's really tying them together. But honestly, aminin ko parang na-nervous ako kasi I'm not used to refereeing these. Like, these are the people that fight and end relationships or like family relations over elections. Like, yeah, na parang you see it in the middle class, but you even see it more in a way violently here. So yun ang nakakatakot. And there are some people that yun parang the stereotypes you thought were stereotypes are actually real. Like yung parang sana like, people talk about like patayin yung mga tao na ganito or something like that. On all sides actually na they wish to kill people. Like teka lang. So but I suppose that's I think the thing that we have to recognize, that the people that you thought were like imaginary or like
cartoonish
evil, yeah, they're there.
You know,
na parang I don't know. Ayoko na, but that's basically what I see. I'm still processing, but you have to, in a way, recognize that may pinanggalingan sila.
So you can you say that you were culture shocked?
A little bit, yeah. And honestly, I'm not sure if it really tested me as a teacher na ganito pala ang mundo, you know. So in a way, I'm also sheltered with the students I have na parang either nahiya pa sila. I suppose kasi wala silang masyadong karanasan sa politika. Like really, they just fresh out of high school. Others are volunteers. They're great, you know, student council, parish, youth for Christ, etc. But really, few of them really have stepped outside their schools. Ito naman, yung mga kapitbahay nila, konsehal o barangay captain, etc. So they're really in it, you know, public officials, you know, with the really close contact with, you know, government. So it's both exciting but also dangerous. And I think I invite a lot of people to try and really see. Talking to normally, it's always an educational experience. Actually, that's a reward, but I cannot fully articulate the lessons that I've learned.
So you're still processing how it affected you. Kasi I was about to ask, how did it affect you, change you, or whatever?
Well, una parang, for many reasons, I decided like, siguro one term lang muna kasi medyo
na-shock ka talaga.
Na-shock talaga ako. Like, I still need to, in a way, say, anong kailangan kong sabihin? Because in real time, like, improv can only get you so far, no? Like,
but were there expectations from you na before going into it? Na siguro mayroong kayong i-expect ko, then there you were, diba? I mean, that was how it was.
I mean, the people that invited me to teach, that they said, "Oh, be patient, huh?" Or like, kasi but in a way, it's not because of ability, because they have the ability. It's just that because of their experiences, medyo like they have strong opinions, and those in a way, because those opinions are so strong, you need to, in a way, help them examine and process them. You know, you don't try to change their mind. Kasi I don't know the world. You know, the world's different.
Mga tipong okay lang batayin yung mga addict na yan,
exactly.
mga ganon, di ba? Parang
ganyan.
Yung mga police, pag nanlaban talaga, wala, baril agad. Kaysa mamatay ka, ikaw yung mamatay.
Actually, some of them, they chose political science kasi criminology was full. Criminology, and they really want to be police because they want, gusto nilang parusahin yung mga kriminal, di ba? Galit sila sa kriminal. And they thought that policy might be the next best thing, or maybe as a lawyer, a justice lawyer. So that's the real sentiment of it. Like it's very natural because in kapaligiran nila there could be an addict there or a criminal there. Diba? So I mean, in a way, I'm privileged to be in a safe environment, pero sa kanila, they really need protection or help or the capacity to fight on themselves.
And siguro yung talagang ngit-ngit na nakikita nila na kasi dun sa ibang GC na nasamahan ko, that because of the feud that may mga DDS doon mga hardcore talaga, yung babae pa nga tapos talagang talaga sila, wala silang pakialam doon sa mga outbursts ni Sara Duterte recently. Kasi wala sa kanila yon.